Hello and welcome to Investor Analytics. In this second video about VisualVaR, I'm going to be explaining how to draw the triangle with the right orientation between the two legs, representing the correlation between the two investments. So let's start with the VisualVaR triangle that I introduced in the first video. R1 represents the risk of the first investment. The length of that arrow is that amount of risk. R2 represents the second investment. It's drawn with the appropriate length for the amount of risk in that investment. And the important thing about getting the diagram right is knowing what angle to draw R2 at, because you finish the VisualVaR triangle by connecting the two, and you can obviously see that the angle that you draw R2 at very much affects what this total red arrow, the total portfolio risk, is going to be. So if the second security were not as highly correlated, and this correlation is somewhere about 0.6 or 0.7, let's say R1 and R2 had no correlation, then R2 would be drawn straight up, should have the same length, but it would be drawn straight up. And if it were anti-correlated to R1, it would be drawn backwards at some angle this way. And the question is, how do you know at what angle to draw the second investment? So to help visualize that, Investor Analytics developed the following diagram that we call the risk compass. Now, in this diagram, the gray arrow is drawn just like it is in the VisualVaR diagram. The blue arrows here correspond to different possible orientations. They all have the same length, but they all have different orientations. So a couple of things to point out. First, they are at 0.1 increments. So this one right here corresponds to 0.7, just like this one corresponds to negative 0.7. And you can see that they're more densely packed together towards zero, and there's a large difference between 0.8 and 0.9, and there's just a huge difference between 0.9 and 1. So the three extremes are positive 1, 0 points straight up, and over here negative 1 doubles back on the original arrow. All of these on this side are negative, and all of these on this side are positive. So to complete the VisualVaR diagram, you simply take, let me get rid of this excess, you simply take the two legs of the triangle and you connect them. So I'm just going to draw, here is a connection going to about 0.6, and here's a connection going to about negative 0.6. And you can clearly see that the first one has much more risk than the second one, and that corresponds to our understanding that negative correlations are hedged investments, and positive correlations clearly contribute more to the risk. So if you want to play with simulating your own portfolio and understanding how VisualVaR works, please visit www.visualvar.com, and where you can construct your own portfolios, and it will draw the VisualVaR diagram for you so you can see exactly how much risk you've put into your portfolio.